Hello and welcome to Shay's Tech Academy. In this video, we will discuss for loops in Python. We'll take a look at what for loops are and how for loops work in Python, and provide some code examples to help you understand them better. Let's start with a simple example. Suppose we have a list of numbers, and we want to print out each number in the list. Here's how we can do it using a for loop in Python. In this example, we define a list called numbers that contains 5 integers. We then use the for keyword to create a for loop that iterates over each element in the list. The loop variable num takes on the value of each element in the list one at a time. Within the loop, we use the print function to display the value of num to the console. When we run this code, we get the following output. That's a simple example of how for loops work in Python. Let's take a look at another example where we use a for loop to calculate the sum of all the numbers in a list. In this example, we define a list called numbers and a variable sum to store the sum of the numbers. We then use a for loop to iterate over each element in the list, adding each number to the sum variable. Finally, we print out the sum of the numbers to the console. When we run this code, we get the following output. As you can see, for loops are very useful for iterating over the elements in a list or other iterable object. In addition to lists, you can also use for loops to iterate over tuples, dictionaries, and other data structures. Let's look at another example where we use a for loop to iterate over a dictionary and print out each key value pair. In this example, we define a dictionary called my_dict that contains 3 key value pairs. We then use the items method to get a list of all the key value pairs in the dictionary. We use a for loop to iterate over each key value pair, with the loop variable key taking on the key of each pair and the loop variable value taking on the value of each pair. Within the loop, we use the print function to display the key value pair to the console. When we run this code, we get the following output. Apple with value of 1, mango with value 2, and cherry with value 3 assigned to it. If all of these examples are confusing you and you are not satisfied, then let me try and make things even more simple for you by giving you 2 real-world examples to help you understand for loops in Python and when they could be used. Let's imagine you're organizing a charity event where people can donate items such as clothes, books, and toys. You want to create a program that prints a thank you message for each donated item and displays the total number of items donated at the end. Here's an example of how you can use a for loop to achieve this. In this example, we have a list called donated_items that contains the different items donated by people. We want to thank each person individually for their contribution. Using a for loop, we iterate over each item in the donated_items list. For each iteration, the loop assigns the current item to the variable item, and we print a thank you message for that item. We also increment the total_items variable by 1 to keep track of the total number of items donated. After the loop finishes executing, we print the total number of items donated by accessing the total_items variable. This example demonstrates how for loops are useful when you have a collection of items or a sequence of values and want to perform a repetitive action for each item. In this case, the for loop allows us to iterate over the donated items, print a customized message, and calculate the total count without needing to write repetitive code for each item individually. We'll do one last scenario now and finish up this lesson. Let's imagine you have a list of names and you want to greet each person individually. You can use a for loop to iterate over the list and print a personalized greeting for each name. Here's an example. In this example, we have a list called names that contains several names. We want to greet each person individually using a for loop. The loop iterates over each name in the names list. In each iteration, the current name is assigned to the variable name. We use string concatenation to create a personalized greeting for each name and print it to the console. After the loop completes, we print a message indicating that the greeting process is completed. This example showcases how for loops can be used to iterate over a collection of items, in this case, a list of names, and perform a specific action for each item. It allows you to automate repetitive tasks and apply the same operation to multiple elements of a collection. For loops are widely used in scenarios where you need to process multiple items, such as iterating over lists, strings, or other iterable objects, and performing actions on each item or element within the collection. They provide an efficient and concise way to handle repetitive tasks and are a fundamental construct in many programming scenarios. With this, we'll end this lesson, and I hope this now clarifies a lot for you. Let's catch up in the next lesson, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more lessons on Python programming.